Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. Baruch Hashem. We all deserve a big Mazel Tov today. But I want to share with you all that this year, the ATIME family was zoiche to a special big Mazel Tov. In the past 12 months alone, the ATIME family was zoiche to not 10, not 20, but close to 200 big Mazel Tovs. This past year, we have celebrated close to 200 weddings. Yes, you heard me correctly. 200 of our ATIME babies have stood under the chuppah this year and introduced a new chapter to the ATIME miracle. These precious bundles of joy were all born in the past 26 years since ATIME was established. It is my privilege and honor to greet the revered Rosh Yeshiva of Philadelphia, Rabbi Shmuel Kamenetsky Shlita. The Rosh Yeshiva's nephew, Rabbi Mordechai Kamenetsky, who's here for the third year in succession, told me a story which made a strong impression on me. Rabbi Tzvi Kamenetsky, Rabbi Mordechai's brother, had been married for a number of years and was struggling with infertility. In 1987, they received the Besura Toiva that they were expecting a Simcha Baruch Hashem. Reb Tzvi and his wife eagerly looked forward to the day when they would finally assume their titles of Tati and Mami. But that day arrived much sooner than they had planned. The tiny baby boy weighed in at just 2.5 pounds, and the prognosis was very grim. For 2 long months, the little trooper fought for his life in his little NICU incubator. It was touch and go. Hundreds of friends and relatives and community members whispered tefillahs on his behalf, urging the tiny lungs to take one breath and then another. Reb Tzvi and his wife marveled at the devoted care of the NICU staff and nurses who worked so tirelessly to save the little one's life. Baruch Hashem, after 2 long months, the baby was finally brought home. At his bris, he was named Yaakov, after his revered great-grandfather, Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky Zechon Nevrucha, who had just recently passed away. The nisim concealed in this little boy were breathtaking, and his parents were overwhelmed with gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Roifer Kalbusa. Reb Tzvi felt tremendous hakuras hatov for the NICU staff and wondered how he could possibly express the strong feelings of gratitude. Gift shops and bookstores didn't offer a solution, and he was pretty much at a loss. Reb Tzvi shared his dilemma with his Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Yeshvei Zitzal. I really want to buy something for the nurses who did so much for our little Yaakov. But what can I get them? I was thinking of gifts, but they are almost meaningless in the face of their devotion. Balloons, they deflate. Flowers just fade and wither. chocolates, they'll be gone before I can even blink. What could I convey through gratitude? Rabbi Yeshivei answered, you're right. Don't get them anything. Rabbi Tzvi was in shock. Nothing? Just to make sure that he had heard correctly? Yes, replied Rosh Hashiva. Don't get them anything. Do something. The answer was getting more mysterious until the Rosh Hashiva clarified. Listen, every year on Yaakov's birthday, go down to the NICU and show them how your little boy has grown. Let them see the pious. Let them see that their devotion for a helpless little infant continues to bear beautiful fruits. The Rosh Hashiva then added, this is something we learn in Parsha Shemos regarding the story of Shifra and Puah. The Pasuk tells us, Vayaytev elikim lam yaldois, vayirav huam vayatzmi miyoid. Hashem benefited the midwife Shifra and Puah, and the nation multiplied and became very strong. We know that the schar of the Mayaldis is written clearly in the next pasuk, as Rashi says, Vayas lehem botim, bote kehina, levia, e bote malchus. Rabbi Yeshvei explained, but I think that the schar is written in this pasuk. Vayaytev elikim lam yaldois, how did Hashem benefit them? Vayirav huam vayatzmi miyoid. He showed them the pious of their hard work. Shifra and Puah saw that because of them, Klal Yisrael grew and multiplied. They brought so many Jewish children into the world. And they were zoiche to see how Klal Yisrael flourished and blossomed before their very eyes. What biggest schar can one hope to receive, the Rabbi Yeshiva said. Rabbi Tzvi, hearing the powerful message, acted upon it year after year without fail. Yaakov's birthday was always marked with a trip to the NICU, where they showed the true Hakudas Atov in the most powerful and poignant manner. Before Yaakov's 13th birthday, they went to the NICU and hung up a mitzvah invitation on the bulletin board, inviting the staff to this great milestone. That night, Rabbi Tzvi received an unexpected telephone call. It was the head nurse in the NICU, and he had something to share. Rabbi Kamenetsky, you surely realize that most of our current staff wasn't around 13 years ago when your son Yaakov was being treated in the NICU. But we're all planning to attend. You know why? Because your son Yaakov is our poster child. Each new nurse parent being trained in hears all about little Yaakov Kamenetsky. Be sure to do your utmost for every infant, we tell them. You know, you never know. That child might become the next Yaakov. That's what we tell them, because it's true. Rabbi Sai, it's a moving story, it's a powerful story, and it's also the story of a time. As I stand here looking at you, I marvel at how much you care for people you don't even know. You've prepared for several intensive months. You've raised funds, spread the word, and then spent this day learning earnestly so our brothers and sisters can embrace a child of their own. Can our deep Hakudas Atov find expression in mere words? What can we and the hundreds of couples do to convey true gratitude? Vayaytev elikim lam yaldois. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will certainly repay you and your family in ways that only He can provide. But today, yes, as we stand here today, when we're all gathered for one reason and one cause, Look at the results. Vayirav huam vayatzmi miyoid. See how many couples you've helped. Look at how many beautiful neshamas you brought into this world, Be'ezus Hashem. Think of the hundreds of silent homes that now resonate with cries and laughter because you cared. Yes, it's all about you. When a woman calls our helpline at midnight because she finally mustered the courage to make that life-changing telephone call after suffering in silence and being afraid of the unknown. When that woman gets the help and guidance she needs, be it from Rabbi Koenig or any of our devoted helpline specialists. Those are all your pairis. It's Vayirav huam. Yes, when a mother and father are given the agonizing news that the child has cancer, as complicated halachic issues arise, and people like our Dai and Rabbi Unga step up to the plate, providing clear answers for overwhelming issues. That's your zechus. Vayaitev Elikim. Yes, when a couple is forced to spend Yom Tov, be it Rosh Hashanah, even Pesach, in a Manhattan hospital, because after years of waiting and finally given the good news, they now have to deal with the dream shattered and with all the complications that come with a stillborn. When that couple gets the support needed, it's you again. It's all your pairis. And when a couple struggling for years with infertility, dealing with the ups and downs, running from doctor to doctor, when they're finally zoicha to Yeshua and has a baby, yes, that's yours a pairis. That's yours a chos. That's what the pasuk means. Vatchayenu es hayelodim. The fact that in this past year alone, ATIME services has grown by over 50%. Allowing us to help hundreds of more couples than ever before. That too is you. Vayirav huam vayatzmi miyoid. Rabbi say, the results are dancing right here in this room to the rhythm of your Mesiras Nefesh and to the beat of your concern. Your learning, your fundraising, and your endless outpouring of Ahavas Yisrael, all bound with the beautiful chains of Achdus, will definitely cause Vayirav huam. By this time next year, who knows how many hundreds of couples will, Be'ezus Hashem, merit a child of their own because of you. And Be'ezus Hashem, in 20 years or so, Vayatzmi miyoid, the words you have learned here today, the funds you've raised, will grow and multiply at a rate that none of us can begin to fathom. Imagine celebrating thousands of ATIME weddings. Now that's a big mazel tov. May Hashem help each and every one of us to be zoiche, to see beautiful pairis, bursting with nachas and simcha. And may we all merit to experience the vayas lehebotim, bota kehena, levia, I botay malchus, bekurov. As we get ready to begin the siyum, We know that it's a great ice roots now. Let's daven for Yeshua's and sing along as Ramotcha leads us in Machnisai Rachmim.